So a woman is at a bus stop with her baby, and she's waiting for the bus, and the bus pulls up, and she gets on, and she walks up to the driver, and he goes, "Oh my God, that is the ugliest baby I've ever seen!" And she's furious, so she throws the money into the little coin slot, and she heads to a seat in the back, or wherever. And so she sits down, and the guy next to her is like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?" And she was like, "Oh, the bus driver just disrespected me." And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Even though he's a public worker, he shouldn't just be being mean to his passengers." She's like, "Oh, thank you for understanding. You know what? I'm going to go up and give him a piece of my mind." So to be helpful, the guy's like, "Yeah, totally. You should do that. Here, let me hold your dog." And that's the end. Thanks, guys.
I don't get it. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Who the fuck cares? That's one. That's one.
Rolling. Rolling.
So this guy goes to his doctor, and his doctor says, "Look, I don't know how to tell you this, but you've just got to stop masturbating." The guy says, "Well, how come?" The doctor says, "So I can examine you."
That's gross.
Oh,
Alright, I got one.
Where did you hear that?
Okay, so there are 3 women trying out for the CIA, and they passed all the tests with flying colors. Their final, test thing they have to do is to go into a room and there'll be a gun on the table. And their spouse will be in there. They have to go into the room and shoot the person they're married to. First woman says, "No, I can't do it." Second woman goes in, comes out 10 minutes later, "I can't do it." Third woman goes in, and you hear things being broken and people screaming and the gun going off and everything. She comes out 20 minutes later and says, "Why didn't you tell me the gun was full of blanks? I had to beat the bastard to death with a chair."
Got it. Get it?
Yeah.
No?
Oh,
Black?
oh God!
Keep that in
Okay. I get it. Okay, so back in the day, they used to play baseball games right near farms. So one day, some baseball player hit a ball. It went over the fence, but on the way down, a pig ate it. They didn't know what to declare it, so they declared it inside the porker.
Ah.
What was Mozart's favorite fruit?
What?
Banana.
Oh, I got one now.
Why was that so?
Oh boy.
What did the Pink Panther say when he stepped on a bug?
What?
Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant. Dead ant.
There's these guys in a sperm bank, and they're waiting in the waiting room. And all of a sudden, this blonde woman walks in, and they're looking around like, what's going on here? One of them finally gets the guts to say, "Excuse me, ma'am, you do realize this is a sperm bank, right?" And she says, "Mm-hmm."
Oh.
This is racist.
It's racist.
You're saying it.
Oh, it's racist against black people though, so I can say
Bias incident waiting to happen.
it's definitely. What's the difference between a dead dog in the road or a dead black person in the road?
What?
The dog's got skid marks leading up to it. I
So, way back in the olden days, the king was done with his court jester, so he decided to kill him. So, he said, "You've been a good court jester, I'll let you choose your method of death." So he says, "I'll choose the death of old age."
So there are 4 people standing on the edge of a cliff. There's a white guy, a black guy, a Native American guy, and an Asian guy. The Asian guy goes off to the edge and says, "My people have suffered so much," and jumps off the cliff. The Native American guy goes to the edge and says, "My people have suffered so much," and jumps off the cliff. Then the black guy goes to the edge and says, "My people had suffered so much," and pushes the white guy off the cliff.
got it. 3, there's a white guy, black guy, and a Native American guy. They're on a cliff. They step on a stone and a genie comes up and says, "You jump off the cliff and say what animal you want to be, or say what you want to be, and you'll turn into it magically." The white guy jumps off and said, "Bald eagle." He flies away. The Native American guy jumps off and says, a hawk. He flies away. The black guy runs up, trips on a rock and says, "Shit," and turns to shit and falls down. Yeah, right?
Okay, so there are 30 archaeologists, and they're exploring some ancient pyramid. And so each one of them reads a different set of hieroglyphics. The first one reads, "You will die a fiery death." Then all of a sudden, a giant thing of fire comes out. He runs out of the pyramid and escapes just in time. The second archaeologist reads, "You will die a watery death," and all of a sudden a giant tidal wave comes up, just disappears right as he escapes. The third guy reads, "You will die a very strange death," and all of a sudden a coffin appears, starts following him, and disappears as he escapes from the pyramid. So then 6 months later, they're at some archaeologist party, at like a barbecue, let's go with, at one of the archaeologists' house. So the first archaeologist is setting up the grill, and there's a propane leak. He starts lighting his lighter, and all of a sudden, poof! Flames combust. He dies. The second archaeologist was startled by it, falls into the pool, and drowns. And then all of a sudden the coffin is back. The third archaeologist is running. He runs inside the house. He goes everywhere. He runs to a dead end in the bathroom. Starts throwing everything at the coffin, get it away. He throws everything in the medicine cabinet. Eventually, he throws the thing of NyQuil at it, and the coffin disappears. So the moral of the story is NyQuil stops the coffin.
What a terrible party.
Okay.
How dare you?
2 states. New Jersey has the most toxic dumps. California has the most lawyers. New
Wait.
Jersey chose first.
This old man walks into a brothel, and
Hooray!
and he walks up to the madam, and she says, "Excuse me, old man, are you lost?" He said, "No, I have got $100. I want the best hooker that you've got." She said, $100? My best hooker's gonna break you in half. No. I want your best hooker. And she says, "Okay, up on the 3rd floor, room 6." So 10 minutes later, he finally makes up the stairs to room 6. Sees this beautiful young woman in the room, and she says, "Whoa, hey, old man, I'm waiting for my customer." He says, "I'm your customer." And so, but you're 150 years old. What can you do? And he said, "Watch this." And his penis grows by 3 inches. Oh my God, can you do that again? And his penis grows by another 3 inches. And she's astonished. And then how do you make it go back? It shrinks by 3 inches. Can you do that again? Shrinks by another 3 inches. She said, "I've never seen this before. I mean, I'm game if you are. Hey, do you want the top or the bottom?" He said, "Well, I walked here, I walked up the stairs, I'll take the bottom." So she gets on top of him and he goes, "If I were a rich man."
That one was good. Best joke tonight.
Alright, so at Christmas dinner, my mom likes to have like all my siblings and our friends over. And throughout dinner, my brother was like, "Oh, my neck hurts. And his friend Kwame looks over at him and says, "That's what you get for fucking a king-size girl in a twin-size bed."
Sorry, I just had I took a Viagra, got stuck in my throat.
That was a joke, right?